Welcome back to Salute to Education. We're here with County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Randy Ward. Thanks again for joining us. We're talking today about Common Core state standards, and I'm confused already. A lot of us know about No Child Left Behind. That's been much debated in our educational system. What is Common Core state standards? How does it work with No Child Left Behind, or does it?
So right now, we are in a situation where we have 50 states and all of them give different tests and everybody has their own state standards, and many times those standards are different. This is a Common Core, common meaning nationally, Common Core standards that when we test students in Mississippi, we can compare them to students in New York, we can compare them to students in California. We've never been able to do that to the point of being a national assessment and standards-based program. Now, many of us are trying to figure out, okay, so what does this all mean in terms of what happens in the classroom with our children as they're getting educated? Basically, those skills that are needed to be successful in college, not just to get you there, but to be successful getting through and finished, and successful in the workplace, are needed in our classrooms.
Give me an example. I mean, there's been a lot of criticism of teaching to the test when we should be teaching kids how to learn. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
You hit it on the money. So teaching to the test, you can't have an assessment system that's bubble in, multiple choice based, and expect for those children to translate that process learning model to the real world. Doesn't happen. How many bubble ins do you do every day?
Not many.
Not many, no, I would say zero. Yeah. And so what this is, it's about preparing students to understand what they're learning, why they choose various techniques for finding problems and finding the solutions to those problems, writing about it, analytically thinking about it, all of those things that are happening in many public schools but haven't been assessed in those public schools. A lot more project-based curriculum, those kinds of things that prepare you for the real world.
And significantly, this was done by groups of people in 48 states, 2 territories, and the District of Columbia.
Teachers, administrators, experts, business leaders, thinking about not only how we can be competitive between ourselves, state by state, but how are we competitive internationally for the global marketplace?
So you've come up with, this group has come up with the core standards. Now there's going to be also assessment now that will be nationally based. You will do assessment of these students based on these core standards at some point in the near future.
And Dennis, that's what really runs, that's the horse before the cart. Because what happens, like you and I, at the job, we want to know how we're evaluated.
Right.
What are the results we need to get? Well, same with the classroom. What are children expected to know? What is the evidence going to be that demonstrates they know that? And how is it going to be assessed? That, you backward map that and say, how am I going to prepare students to be able to do that work? Not necessarily the individual teach to the test, but the process of getting to the answers and problem solving like you and I have to do every day in our workplace.
And what does the county office do to support all the teachers at our various districts in the county so you get to that point?
We're working at a number of levels. First, awareness. What is it? What is it? What does it mean? Second is preparation, professional development, and not only professional development at a one-size-fits-all. We have, like any classroom, a bunch of adults that have to be trained at the level they're at and above. So we have to do it at a number of different levels. We have to share best practices. We have to make sure the resources are there to do the curriculum and to do the instruction. But also, there's a back-end piece of this called an assessment, and it's going to be done using technology. You can't do it on just old technology. So there's
no bubbles.
No bubbles, you can't use 2Gs, you can't use the old technology. You have to be able to have video, you have to have the infrastructure in your technology to be able to take the test.
What are you hearing from teachers and administrators around the districts of San Diego County about this process?
Dennis, we're hearing both anxiety and excitement. Anxiety because we're not quite sure we're going to be ready in time and have the resources to prepare for all of this, but a lot of excitement for what it means for our students in terms of future learning potential.
Thank you. Dr. Randy Ward, County Superintendent of Schools. We'll be back with more of Salute to Education right after this.